A settlement has been reached in the battle over Lisa Marie Presley's estate. My name is Andrew Ayers. I'm an estate planning and business law attorney with offices in Edina, Minnesota and New York City. And today we're going to do a quick update to a video from February where we looked at some of the issues surrounding Priscilla Presley's objections to her daughter's changes to her trust. So as a quick recap, back on January 12, 2023, Lisa Marie Presley died. And it seems that in 2016, she had made amendments to the trust that she had created, and those amendments removed her mother and her business manager from their roles as trustees under her trust. Now, in their place, she put her two adult children, Riley and Benjamin, as the new managers of the trust. However, Benjamin died in 2020, leaving her daughter Riley as the main trustee left under her trust. Now, she also has twin daughters who are at the age of 14, so at this point they're too young to be serving as the trustees under this trust. Now, this whole contest started in January when Priscilla filed something with the court, apparently objecting to the fact that the trust amendment misspelled Priscilla's name, the signature on the document seemed strange, and there were no witnesses or notarization of the trust amendment. So back in our video in February, we went through some of these issues and the importance of signing your documents correctly and working with professionals. Well, last week we found out that there's actually been a settlement of this issue, so we no longer theoretically have a contest over this trust amendment. Now, according to what I've read, we don't know the terms of the actual settlement. And what's happening is the parties, meaning Priscilla Presley and Lisa Marie Presley's daughter Riley, have asked that the court seal the records. And if the court grants that request, then the public will never know what's in the settlement documents. However, the rumors are that Priscilla has received millions of dollars. And in an interesting twist, apparently as part of the negotiations, Priscilla requested to be buried next to Elvis. However, that request was not permitted. Priscilla has now asked people to make it clear that she did not actually file a lawsuit. And so this motion to seal the file is being made by June 12th of this year, and there'll be a follow-up hearing in August. So when we look at what's happened with this trust amendment and this supposed settlement that we're hearing about now, there's three lessons that we can learn from this situation that maybe it can apply to you in your personal life. The first lesson, which is very important and a lot of people need to know about, is probate filings are public. So the probate court is the court wherever you are when you die that handles your estate and administers your estate. Now, if you've never had to deal with this court before, you should understand that these filings are public. So if you have a family member who dies, you may find out that if you're named in that document, you start getting contacted by people. And you wonder, how in the world did that person find out my information? Well, if your information was in a public court filing, there's companies out there that all they do is scrape probate court filings for information. And they will reach out to the people who are either beneficiaries or people who may be in control of the estate because the person who died owed them money and they want to make sure they're getting paid. It's only because probate filings are public that we probably really even learned about this trust amendment fight that Priscilla was bringing in relation to the 2016 amendment. Second lesson we can learn from this is that settlements can be sealed by asking the court. So when it comes to somebody famous, in this case the daughter of Elvis, we can all understand why the parties want this to be sealed. They don't want their personal baggage or their personal information or anything about them leaked out in the public filings, especially with Lisa Marie Presley's interest in Graceland in Tennessee. I'm sure there's lots of information that would be in a probate filing that people would love to get their hands on. Wouldn't we love to see the financials behind Graceland, see what's going on, how much money the family really makes from Graceland? So in these situations, they've now asked for the court to make all these filings sealed so that the public can't get into them. And now you may think my life's not that important, my mother died and there's nothing that important in her file. Well, there might be. And you don't know what's in the filing until it starts happening with the court. But depending upon the rules of your court, and you'll have to check with your local court, you can ask for probate filings to be sealed. Now, I'm not here in this video to guarantee that everything is going to be sealed. What I'm saying is work with a professional, someone who knows that probate court, to make sure that if it's possible to get your probate file sealed, and there's a good reason to do so, make sure you're following the right steps and getting it done. And then the third lesson that we can learn from here is the importance of a contest clause in your estate plan documents. So if you've never drafted an estate plan before, which is a will or a trust and the documents that go with them, you may not know what we're talking about. However, when you work with a professional, oftentimes your will or your trust is going to include what's called a contest clause. And that clause will say that if anybody contests, so if they contest, they fight what's in the will, they're not happy with what they got, then the will automatically cut them out and treat them as if they're not entitled to anything. Now, had Lisa Marie Presley had this kind of provision in her estate plan documents, there's a good chance that Priscilla never would have brought any kind of action because it would have cost her any ability to collect anything under the estate. The other comment I've seen online, which is pretty well placed actually, is that normally you're not going to be leaving money to your parents in your estate plan. So if you're someone in Lisa Marie Presley's situation where one parent is alive and you have multiple children who are living as well of yours, you're often going to pass your estate down to your children, not necessarily up to your parent, Priscilla in this case. However, it would have been a good idea here to have a contest clause, meaning that if anybody did come in to fight what the provisions of the document say, then they would lose everything under the will. They would not be entitled to collect anything under the will or under the trust. And that appears to be what's missing in this case. That contest clause may have changed the whole tenor of these objections, and in fact, we may never have seen an objection for Priscilla if there was a contest clause. So it looks like we've got this matter settled. It's got a motion coming up in June, and then there'll be a hearing in August, but chances are we're not going to hear much more about the estate of Lisa Marie Presley unless something else weird happens or if somebody starts talking about it. But chances are, because they're moving to seal it and everyone seems happy with the settlement, that we won't be finding out more information. So if you found this video to be insightful, I'd love it if you can hit that like button. If you have some comments, the last video had a lot of comments. People had a lot of things to say about this situation. Feel free to leave a comment below. And if you want more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel and you'll get notified every time I put in a new video. And if you've got questions about your estate plan, you're not sure where to get started, or let's say you have a trust like Lisa Marie Presley did and you want to update it and you want to make sure it's done correctly and you don't run into these issues, you can go to my website, andrewmayers.com. There's a red legal strategy session button on the main page. You can click that and you'll be taken to my personal calendar where we can set up a legal strategy session. It's a 15 or 20 minute phone call where we'll go through where you are in the process and give you some options and a plan for moving forward. I look forward to speaking with you, and I will see you in the next video.